Hello, this is Rico, Stratwrassler, back with you again. I'm actually playing a Strat this time. And I'm going to interrupt my progress in the drop D slide tuning lessons to give a little bit of applied theory to the guitar fretboard. And just to review a little bit, my lessons are intended not necessarily for absolute beginners. And I'm focusing on the applying theory to the fretboard. So the reference here is going to be called the cage system, or caged, C-A-G-E-D. Those refer to open chords, your standard open chords on a guitar. C, A, G, E, and D. Some of the first chords that people learn on the guitar. So if you're not familiar with that, and some of the concepts that go with it, like if you have this A shape here, and I'm going to call them shapes because they're physical representations that you can visualize on your fretboard, but they are musical ideas. It's a major chord. It's an A major chord. It's got the root, the third, and the fifth in it. The root just happens to be the middle note. Root, third, and the fifth is in the bass, unless you play the open A string. And then way down here is the fifth again, an E on your open E string if you want to play that. And most of the time you don't want to play all the notes. These three are just fine. And if you're going to play that low E, you're going to use it as a bass note, something like that. So, and you can move that shape, these three notes, up to the fifth fret, to this D, and now you're using the same shape with this finger right here across the three notes, and it's a D chord. And that's how you use the cage system. You learn these basic open chord shapes, how to move them around and relate them to other notes and other chords and other keys and things like that. I'm not going to go any more into that because there are a lot of really good lessons and videos on YouTube and other places on the internet where you can pick that up. So I'm going to pick one of my favorite ones, and that's the D chord. This open D shape right here, which has a D note, an A note, a D note, and an F sharp. And in that order, it's the root, the fifth, the root again, and the third. And you can add the open A as a low fifth note for bass line, something like that. Root, fifth, root, fifth. This should be a review for you. So if it's not review for you, the rest of this video and lesson may not be for you. So we've got this D chord, and some of you may have discovered that you can move this shape around, and as long as you just play those three strings, you can find other chords with it. Like here's your D. So if you move this note right here up to a different note, then it will be that chord. Move it up to an E, and it's an E. You move it up to this G right here on the 8th fret, and it's a G note. I was trying to go through my head that Beatles tune. What was that one that goes? That's wrong. I was thinking of 8 Days a Week, but it's not those chords, but it's the same idea. That's what they do. I'm not giving you a lesson on that tune. It's just something that occurred to me right now. But the idea that you can move that shape and find other notes. You can also do it with the minor note, or the minor chord. If you know the shape of your D minor, and you can move it up to E, it's E minor. Move it up to F sharp, G. And think of that D note as an anchor note, where you're identifying it either because you want to play in the key of D, or you're playing in a tune that has a chord progression that has a D in it, and you want to find some good sounding notes or licks or phrases to play over it, you'll find that D note, and you'll find this shape. And from this shape, you can find a regular D major scale and go down it. Right? Of course. You can find the A, not the A, but the D major pentatonic scale. And if you move that up here to an E, now it's the E major pentatonic scale. To a D. I mean an E. Back down to a D. So let's explore some of the things that are there. If you're playing a tune, let's say it goes from, I don't know, D. There's that little phrase where you hit that suspended note on the G with your pinky. It goes to a G. A. And you want to play some stuff over that D chord, so you could play that D major pentatonic. Go to the G chord. Just repeated it. So that's all there with that shape. You got your D major pentatonic. But if you want to make it sound a little more bluesy or rocky, instead of playing that major pentatonic, you might throw in some notes from the minor pentatonic, which are right here. Some of you may not use that particular position of the D minor pentatonic very often, but it's really handy around this chord. So instead of going, it sounds kind of country-ish, major-ish, I might do something like this. All those notes are right there around that shape. And so if you know your major and minor pentatonic, you find all those notes there and how they sound different. And you can play them off that one shape. So if you move that up to an A, or A, you see I went from the major to the major to the minor pentatonic and back. Go to G chord. And all I've done is I've taken that basic shape and those little familiar patterns around it and moved it to each chord. So you can see where it's handy if your chord progression was, you know, D, G, you could go and I'm just finding those same patterns and shapes off of that D shape pattern, D, G. So, explore that on the neck here. You can go up to an F, you can go all the way up to a C, and then maybe you'll explore the other little 3-note chords off of that D patterns. I showed you earlier the D minor. Make it sound minor, the minor 7, kind of jazzy, and see what you can make work with those. But you can move those same patterns around. Here's a D minor, a G minor, an A minor, D minor 7. Actually, not a D minor 7, it's a D major 7, G major 7, A major 7. And a minor. And you also have your D7, D dominant 7. It's got that 7th note that's a full step below the root. But you can move it around also. D7, G7, A7. So have fun with that. That's your little applied theory to the fretboard for today from Rico, the Stratwrassler. Till next time, bye.